We watched Bolt lying flat on their back, not sure what had just happened. If this was another of Glitterbug's little tricks, I was ready to strangle her. After just a moment, Bolt sat back up, and the shard fell out of their chest and dropped to the ground. Bolt slowly picked up the fragment and told us that they had a vision of sorts. In their mind, they were floating through a sea of fog. Then suddenly, they were on a ship and there was something said about engine failure. Next thing they knew, they had crashed in the marshlands. 4 figures stood over Bolt. They reached into their chest and pulled something out, then broke it into pieces, explaining that whatever they took from Bolt was the only way out. I don't know what this vision means. I'm not even sure Bolt knows what it means. Is Bolt missing a part of themselves? What was the item removed? Bolt's soul? Who were these people and how did Bolt end up in their company? Bolt confirmed that the diamond-shaped shard we found does not look like the one that was taken from their chest. We each took a turn holding the fragment, inspecting it. Bolt inhaled deeply and remarked that the piece smelled like order. Sari snatched it from Bolt's hand and took a deep breath. To her, it smelled like fire. We each took turns smelling the object, and we each identified a different scent. For Victor, it smelled like sheep. Ezra detected the scent of arcane magic. And to me, it smelled of giant. Mother, I've never even seen a giant, but I just knew that's what I was smelling. Victor thinks we should take the fragment to the Arcanum, but I think that's a terrible idea. Although the Arcanum do provide protection to most of Aneria, I'm not sure I trust them. I revealed to the group that Lucan has tasked me to find Ezra's book and that I was to keep it out of the hands of the Arcanum. I could tell Ezra wasn't exactly thrilled that I had been withholding information from him, but I promised him that if it came to me choosing between him and Lucan, my employer, I will choose him. The trio's approval of my companions is the only bit of information I consider when choosing allegiances. I showed my comrades the ring Lucan had given to me, and sent him a message for more information on who has hired us to find Ezra's book. I received a return message that said negotiations have been stalled. The purple mass was still wriggling beneath our feet, so Ezra scorched it, just to be certain it was extra dead. We turned to find another archway. We walked through it and found ourselves, once again, in Glitterbug's courtyard. We showed Glitterbug the glowing ember core. She confirmed that it was, indeed, the core of Ambaris. Glitterbug told us that if we could resurrect Ambaris, he would likely return to the Sanctum. And now that the Sanctum was safe, the Medmen attacks would stop. Glitterbug turned her attention to Ezra. He really is adorable, though I think he would take offense to my calling him such. He's quite tall, however, not nearly as looming as Bolt. His skin has a greenish hue that reminds me of the lamb's ear that grows on the south side of our home. His hair is the color of an eggplant, which pair beautifully with his amber eyes. He can be a bit awkward at times, but I think it's because he spent most of his life reading and learning. Books don't provide much by way of socialization. Glitterbug gathered a burned twig from the orange barrier, a frozen twig from the blue, and a purple crystal. Out of these 3 items, she crafted a wand of mischief for Ezra. Of course, mischief. There can be no Glitterbug without it. Soon we heard a little grumbling coming from the trees. Ainur Elovir had awoken and was about as agreeable as spoiled milk. She's short of stature, but her personality is big. She was glad to see we made it through the tests of the Sanctum. Her memory had failed her when she reached the story of the Weeping Swordsman and wasn't able to complete the task. Ainur handed me my snuggle beast. She didn't seem too impressed with it. Sari and I named our snuggle beasts. What good is an adorable snuggly without a name? Sari's shall henceforth be called Mr. Growly, and mine, Tufflepuff. Glitterbug even made little collars for them with their names. I've never had a best friend before, except for you, of course. I didn't know how much I needed a Sari in my life. I asked Glitterbug if we could keep in contact with her. She took the ring Lucan gave to me and gave it a little tap. She explained I could reach her any time using my ring. When I looked at the ring again, there was a new little pink band around it with a butterfly wing engraved on it. Finally, we were able to leave the sanctum. As we stepped through the archway we had originally traveled through, I felt as if a huge weight had been lifted from my shoulders. The air in the real world feels magnificently fresh. We made our way back to where we would find Kes and the airship. However, when we arrived in the clearing, instead of being greeted by a quirky kobold, we were ambushed by 3 humans, a wizard and 2 thugs, a minotaur, and an orc. What a welcome party. The minotaur said something menacing about how he said we'd find you here. Victor immediately threw one of his knives, but it was buffeted by the wizard. We all looked at one another and shrugged. What's another fight among friends? We told Ainor to run and hide while we took care of business. I looked over at Seredan and watched as her eyes turned completely black, and she became enveloped in a thick cloud of darkness. I wasn't sure what to think, but didn't have much time to do so anyway. Bolt unleashed their chain and lashed the Minotaur, pulling him closer to us. Ezra threw his orange web, trapping the 2 bandits in place. Seredan ran straight at the orc. The cloud of darkness that surrounded her engulfed the orc, and when she moved past where he was gone. I had to look twice to make certain my eyes weren't deceiving me. I felt a pit in my stomach. The hulking Minotaur was standing over me. He smelled like rotting meat and a hide skin rug that had been left out in the rain. I expressed my feelings about his body odor, and the last thing I remember was feeling his weapon slash my chest. When I came to, Victor was standing over me, holding an empty potion of healing. I think he mixed a little vodka in there as well. I didn't care, I could breathe again. I stumbled to my feet as bolts smashed the Minotaur with their gauntlets. I took a swing with my longsword and exacted my revenge. Though it was short-lived. I couldn't seem to avoid getting hurt. Ezra was a shining star. I watched as he deflected bolt after bolt fired at him from a crossbow. Seredan moved toward the wizard, and he was surrounded in her darkness. Again, when she stepped away, he was gone. The pit in my stomach grew. These enemies were troublesome to be sure, and they attacked us without reason. But watching as the orc and the wizard just disappeared into a cloud of darkness, I hate even admitting this, but it felt a bit evil. Victor surrounded the Minotaur with his knives, and I saw a glint of fear in his eyes. He had every reason to be scared, because soon he was shrouded in Seredan's cloud of darkness. Ezra lit one of the bandits on fire, and Seredan killed the other with her glaive. I could still smell the loathsome Minotaur standing in front of me, though he was obscured by Seredan's darkness. I thrust my longsword into the cloud. I knew I had killed him when his blood came pouring out of the darkness and down my arm. Bolt delivered a swift uppercut to the last bandit, and the fight was over. Seredan reappeared as the darkness vanished, and Seredan's eyes were once again a beautiful emerald. We gathered up the crossbow and bolts and called Kes down to pick us up. Ainor crawled out from the rock she was hiding behind. She's several decades my senior. She looked all of us over, and I got the feeling we were just the type of trouble people of her maturity complain about over brunch. Kes dropped down the fraying ladder, and we all made the climb to board the greatest treasure. To our amazement, Kes had completely reassembled Ainor's caravan on the deck of the ship. We supplied him with the crossbow and bolts. He is an odd one, but I'm glad it was he who sold us to Hollowbend. I asked Kes if we could stay in touch with him. I handed over my ring. He fiddled with it a bit, then handed it back, and I saw a little gear had been etched into the ring. I can reach him anytime, though he did boast about how busy he usually is, being highly in demand. When we returned to Six Hills and docked the airship, we were immediately greeted by Justicar Whitehall, Holly, Instructor Cryer, and Balin Heck. Apparently, Brander, the student we had sparred with at the Millibrax College, had gotten his feelings hurt when we defeated him and decided to meddle in our mission. You will recall Brander was the one with the rapier and the punchable face. He had told the Minotaur and his friends where to find us. He is, of course, now missing. He was smart to run. Justicar Whitehall provided payment for a job well done. No sooner had the money hit our palms than Balin Heck was rushing us off to complete the brew bash judging. Victor declined our invitation to come along, saying that he needed to meet with Yinny. I think they make a great couple. The winners of the Rubash competition were announced. To the surprise of no one, except perhaps the Edaquathan, Chateau Morlane took first place. I was thrilled to see Gale and Brock Farthing along with their goat Twiddle accept an honorable mention at Einor's request. We were all exhausted. As we started trudging back to our beds at the Whistling Bull, we bumped into Hollix, the Minotaur with the churning elemental we had met through our judging duties earlier in the day. Hollix mentioned he comes from a little village of brewers and that he's happily engaged to another Minotaur. That pit filled my stomach again, Mother. Hollix is so sweet. What if it had been his fiancée that I killed in Hollowbend earlier today? I don't think that is something I would ever be able to forgive myself for. When I returned to my room at the Whistling Bull, the first thing I did was check my ring for messages. The ring was cold and blue, meaning there was a message waiting for me from Lucan. I pulled a scrap of parchment from the ring. Lucan wrote that his employer wants to meet the book carrier in Terrebaun. I walked down the hall to Sari's room and slipped in the door. She was soaking in the huge tub in the center of the room. She invited me to join her, and as she did so, a tub identical to hers rose out of the floor, already filled with hot water and bubbles. I looked down at myself. I was still covered in rust-colored dried blood, both my own and the Minotaur's. I needed a good soak. I sat beside Sari's tub and started taking off my armor. I told her what Lucan had said in his message and asked her what I should do. I think we need to meet this employer, but I don't want to put Ezra in danger. Sari asked what Lucan knew of her. I told her that he didn't know anything. Sari suggested that she pretends to be Ezra. She really is quite brilliant. I'll tell Lucan that we'll depart for Terrebaun tomorrow. I lowered myself into my tub and felt my worries melt away. It was quiet for some time, when Sari asked so quietly that I almost didn't hear her if she had scared me today. I struggled to find the right words. Sari has become much more to me than just a travel companion. She's the only person I can be my true self around. And despite knowing all of me, she still loves and accepts me. I admitted to Sari that I was not afraid of her so much as I'm afraid of losing her. And that darkness filled her eyes. I fear we're headed down different paths. It takes real bravery to confess one's fears. Sari told me that the darkness scares even her. It seems the choir's mission is to find balance through whatever means necessary. Sari blames herself for the darkness. She was raised by her mother, and her father was completely absent from her life. When her mother died, she was sent off to live with her Da, a man she had never met. A childhood like that could create an identity crisis for even the most grounded individual. More than anything, the choir, through Craggy, have given Sari power. Mother, I can attest, the power of the darkness is expansive. I've witnessed what she can do with it with my own two eyes. But it makes Sari feel good, and who am I to take that from her or to belittle her wants? I told Sari about the time you took me hunting for Luna berries. It was in the pitch black of night. I was always so afraid of the dark. I still am. My imagination can easily craft the most hideous of monsters in the unknown. You insisted I join you, and I clung to your arm, trembling with fear as we walked through the forest. The canopy was so dense, not even the faintest twinkling of a star's light came through. We finally entered a clearing, and the full moon shone down through the branches, illuminating the Luna berries for us to pick and enjoy. I suggested to Sari that sometimes we need the darkness to more clearly see the light. I am not always good with words, Mother, but I think that story was just the right thing to say. Sari used to pick Luna berries with her mother as well. They're called Ilispe in Elven. Every month in Tarrey, where Sari grew up, she and her mother would hunt for the berries under the full moon. Instead of the pie you made for me, Sari's mother would bake the berries into a delicious bread pudding that they would eat with clotted cream. We both agreed to hunt for Luna berries together on the next full moon. We'll even try our hands at baking some homemade sweets. Sere also suggested I learn to embrace the darkness by learning to fight in it. Maybe Victor can help. I have much to learn. Love, Eve.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tales of Aneria Session 6. Ooh. What kind of... Come on, let's get some enthusiasm. I can't hear you. No, please don't.
MC Cory sucks.
Yeah. I'm not bringing the right
It's 7 a.m. and Cory just went, oh, come on, you guys can do better than that.
Please hold.
One thing that COVID has not made me miss.
Yeah, it's company.
Moments like that.
Thanks for bringing it back.
Anyway, welcome back. Last time, well, you already heard the recap. Thank you again, as always, for the recap. And let's go ahead and get into it. It is the next morning in Session 6, 6 Hills, and everybody is sitting down for breakfast. Nice little stack of wheat pancakes and some delicious true maple syrup this morning. So, yeah, freshly squoze and from the trees in
From the maple trees.
Yep. Get out of there. Oh yeah, they probably have like a giant or an ogre or a troll or something that literally like squeezes the whole tree
Just
syrup out of it. Yeah. Just like
so sticky.
It's like grapes, but for giants.
And then he sticks his hands in like a pot of weasels, and the weasel's just like.
Suddenly,
Now I don't want this maple anymore.
And one of them is a druid.
Bolt just has a big old mug full of pancake batter with maple syrup like mixed in, like a milkshake.
pancake milkshake.
Do they cook inside of him and then come out as more pancakes?
Out the other end.
No.
I don't want to know what they look like when they come out.
They come out as waffles.
They come out brick shaped.
Slingos.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are all sitting down enjoying a very nice breakfast. Is there anything that you guys would like to talk about, discuss?
So
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
I think what I need to talk about is a little bit less important.
How do you know?
Last night, I was pondering over this, and I pull out the Ember Core of Embarrass. And what Glitterbug said kind of gave me an idea. She mentioned that if we could find someone that could cast some kind of elemental magic, or say like a shaman or a druid, we could possibly reignite the core, or at least get that process started. So I was thinking to go ahead and talk to Alex. He's a druid, and he also has some experience with elementals.
Right. And not working for the Arcanum.
Yes, correct.
Importantly.
As far as we know.
Do you think that they've left? The festival is over.
I don't know. I need to go. Probably need to go right after
I
this.
have a feeling after last night, most people will be rising slowly.
So, at another point of order, Holix did live in Palebend, which is one of the towns of
Right.
Six Hills.
Okay.
So it'd be a short travel to
Gotcha.
get to it.
Down the way.
I think that's a great idea. I'd love to try and help these mud creature attacks stop sooner rather than later.
And even if he himself is unable to help us, perhaps he could point us in the right direction.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Something I'd like to discuss with you all. Last night, I received a message from my employer. And the individual who has employed him to locate Ezra's book has asked to meet with you, Ezra. And I I'll be honest, it makes me quite nervous. I did speak with Sari last night, and she had a great idea, I thought. Perhaps we could have Sari stand in place of you, just for your protection. Not that I don't think you couldn't handle yourself.
No, I can't really handle myself that well. I
You
just hide
sell
in the back.
yourself short, my friend.
I think that's a great idea. Can you pull off being an Ezra?
Well, sorry. Pancakes, very sticky. Here's the thing. As far as we know, her employer doesn't know much about me nor what I look like. And we don't necessarily know how much they know about you. I suppose we could always try some sort of disguise if we want to cover our bases, be safe.
I think they'll probably check that right away.
Sure.
It's, a magic book that they're searching after. It's probably best to just go as you are. Maybe I'll be somewhere nearby just in case.
Right, that was our thought.
Maybe all of us.
If all of you wouldn't mind accompanying us, perhaps hiding in a shady alley somewhere nearby or something to jump out if things get a little sticky.
Yeah.
I am very interested in meeting your employer. This whole arrangement is fascinating. So.
I'm
What
more
is
interested in meeting the one who hired him.
Me too. What's our timeline for something like this?
Well, we are to travel to Terrebaun, which by my calculations...
Will take us.
So on foot. Okay. I calculated all this out beforehand because I knew this question was coming up. On foot, it'll take you about 28 days on the long road. Yep. If you'd like to, instead, you could take a boat by going to Salsport and heading up the river, and that would be about 27 days.
How fast by keg pony?
By keg pony, you could probably basically cut the time in half. Any sort of if you're riding horses and you're riding them a good distance, you're basically doubling your speed per day. So it's going to be faster that way. Your employer didn't really give you any sort of time frame for that because everybody knows how long the long road is. So it's not that inconceivable to think that you're going to be a month getting there. If they really wanted to, they would have sent extra money for you to get an airship, which would take 7 days.
All right.
We do
All right.
potentially have the ability to contact Kiss Kiss. What was his name again?
Out of here now.
Kiss. Very close. Kiss.
That's his
You can
ringtone.
do that to him later.
Well, perhaps we want to go by foot anyways and give us time to really formulate a solid plan.
And get to know each other better.
I was thinking talk to the Minotaur? What was he again?
Alex.
Yeah.
Right.
The Centaur.
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
You're right. The first one.
That works for me. Victor, would you be interested in joining us? And how were things with the Uni last night?
Come on, Vicky, tell us all about it.
The things that were discussed were private, and I will keep them between us.
So honorable.
You don't knife and tell?
So many jokes, so little time. I believe this employer of yours seems interesting to me, and I do not have any current contracts here. It might be interesting to see if there's people they may know, and others that I might be able to find. I need to find more information on his dagger, either way, and I think that would be. You all seem, most of you, seem easy to come by and to listen to.
Easy to
So
come
I'm
by.
hard to come
You're a
by.
dime a dozen.
I suppose I'm flattered.
You are unique.
Common isn't his first language.
I can
Forgive me if I'm being too direct.
28 days on the road might be a nice amount of time for you to practice what we were talking about last night.
Yes.
If he's amenable, I'll kind of get out of the way because he doesn't like me very much.
Victor,
You take your pancakes and go.
my
Just
dear
into the-
Victor,
Yes.
you know, as I was watching you and Eve in battle, I was just so impressed with. Not myself. Sorry.
You're
It's like you're talking to this person. It's the royal we now.
Sorry.
I am losing my mind. As I was watching you and Sari in battle, I'm fascinated by the idea of being able to fight in darkness. It's something that quite scares me. I was wondering if you might teach me how. Blink, blink.
You say
Sounded like you blinked twice. I suppose I could teach you a thing or two about using your other senses. Perhaps a couple pointers. Yes, I
Some
believe.
lessons?
Sure. Yeah. I suppose we have some when we have time. I guess the first thing to start with. At some point, you need to find something to cover your eyes, and so then we can have some training.
Okay,
Should not be a problem.
I can do that. Thank you. It's so
Yes.
kind of you.
No problem.
I appreciate you following my commands.
Or
No,
else.
We all know the punch that will come.
Now, Sarah is a good fighter, but and we seem to work together well. But I have to admit it. Occasionally, I don't think she remembers my name very well. And I find it a little offensive.
Do you? What?
You're just on the other side of the
Right
table.
here.
Yeah, like, and I don't know. Yeah, Victor's like, oh, I'll get.
You're just outside of
Because
my
you
shot.
said, yeah, you said like,
Your
I'll
shot.
get out of your way, and then you kind of picked and moved your plate around. Yeah.
I mean her no offense, but the fighting was quite. It was very easy. I got the sense that something was impeding the vision of those around, and I think that would be beneficial if you were to fight alongside her.
Absolutely.
It was weird. It got
it
dark,
was
and then
weird.
poof.
Things got dark, guys.
Yes.
They got really dark.
Right.
She's here.
Where did the bodies go?
Sari, no, I'm talking about myself in the third person. Wow. Should we just switch characters?
First episode.
Okay. Right. Eve and I were talking about that last night. Sorry if that was a bit alarming to anyone. It was a little bit alarming to me, truth be told. And yet, well, how can I put this?
It was very useful.
Right. Craggy, well, no offense, my dear choir, but, might not necessarily be, only interested in, all things kind and benevolent and just and right. Or at least that's the impression I'm starting to get. And yet, in seeking balance, well, there's definitely a power there that I'm hoping I can use to, well, mostly do what's right, assuming that I can sort of hold off any encroaching darkness on my soul.
It is a choir, you say, right? So there is
Exactly.
bass to match the alto.
Right.
You cannot have harmony if you do not know discord.
Like that. Well put, Vicky. And yes, I know your name. And I'm convinced that soon you will learn to embrace it.
I don't find it very gender neutral, but I will try.
I'm curious, Victor. What did your mother call you growing up? Did she have a little pet name? My mother always called me Evie.
But no one else can call her that.
Only my mother can call me Vicky.
Is that what she called you?
Yes.
I love that. So sweet.
That is why I prefer to it is a little demeaning. It feels a little like I'm, how do you say, being looked at like a child. But
Widow baby Victor.
Victor,
Careful, he won't teach you.
Victor,
Let me stay on his bad side.
I'm just poking fun at you. I apologize, Victor.
yes.
I'm sure we've all had embarrassing pet names at some point in time. Ezzy. Bolt.
They're both like, nope.
Not
All
that I
right.
can remember.
Well, we'll leave that up to
We'll
you.
get to the bottom of it.
Your mom never yelled at you? Hey,
No, my mom
Hey,
never,
you get in the house.
my mom never
Oh.
talked to me.
Yeah.
oh, that's right. That was out of character, by the way.
Well, now breakfast is ruined.
So, as you guys are discussing and winding down this wonderful, very plot relevant discussion about nicknames, you hear like the soft clicking of boots on the floor, signaling that somebody's approaching the table. And at first, you don't really see any but the top of their head. But then the chair pulls out, and Ainor slides into it, and she goes, "Good morning, y'all. How'd you sleep?"
Very well. How are
Like a
you,
baby.
Ainor?
Doing a lot better, thanks to you guys. And that's kind of what I came over here to talk to you guys about. I owe you all a debt that I really can't repay. You know, being a famous chef only gets you so far in the money business, especially because most of it goes right back into the restaurant. So I can't really give you any sort of monetary reward, but I want to let you know that if you guys are ever in Willow Creek Hollow, anytime, stop by the restaurant. I'll have a private table for you, and I'll make you a personalized meal that's better than any of the stuff that they serve in this place, that's for sure.
Where's Willow Creek Hollow?
Oh, it's just up the long road, just heading up northeast.
On the way to Terrebaun.
Yes, actually.
How convenient.
Are you guys heading to Terrebaun?
Well,
We
Soon.
thought we might head that
Yes.
direction.
Are
Looking
you,
for work and all that.
Are you looking for a little bit of company? I'm no good in a fight, but I'll cook you food at least as far as Willow Creek Hollow.
I think I have maybe some unfinished business. Willow Creek Hollow. Maybe we can stop.
Depending on the quality of the food, we could use that as payment for being your muscle to keep you safe on the road.
Sounds great. That means that I don't have to wait around for a patrol to come down.
And this is
I'm not getting back on that road.
Victor's whatever wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
And Preston's recognizing that that's not.
that's fine.
Just putting it, and
Preston.
for everyone else,
No need
Preston
to
doesn't care about the nicknames. This is entirely Victor. I really don't care.
That's
leave,
okay.
Leave your
Presty.
favorite Victor nickname in the comments.
We might have to draw a line depending on where this goes. But.
Well, I mean, I'd be more than happy to provide the food for the journey. I got my wagon getting stocked up now. Like I said, I don't have to wait for any patrols because I'm not going back on that road unless I have a good guard with me. For some reason, it's been more dangerous as of late.
Do you have any animals or anything to pull your wagon?
I'm buying a new bounder today. It's pretty much the best thing that you can get around here. They're not the best for pulling, but they're better than nothing.
I've heard that they love to eat sugar bombs.
Really? I'll have to stop by Nico's and get a few.
Absolutely.
Just don't tell him they're for the animals. I don't think he would sell them.
Yeah, he is pretty particular, that's for sure.
What's the price of one of those bounders?
You know, I'm not right sure. I was going to go negotiate one today.
Well, seeing as how if we were to get some kind of animals, horses or other, we could cut our trip down significantly. And if we had 2 bounders, then I could ride in the wagon as well, rather than have to try to find a horse that is capable of handling my frame.
I mean, I can ask around if you want and get you some prices.
Yeah. Because I'm sure we could probably sell it or whatever.
Upon arrival.
Yeah. Would you do that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. So, barring anything else, do I just come back here and let you know the prices, see if they're agreeable?
That would be excellent. I do think that Bolt has an item that he wants to take care of before we leave, but that shouldn't take too terribly long, I don't believe.
Yeah, no worries. I was gonna just try and head out by midday if I had somebody with me. Like, if you guys just wanna, I'll just meet back here though if I'm gonna be getting the individual prices for you and let you know.
Yeah. We'll also go look at prices for maybe a rental some horses or something. So.
Yeah, of course.
If this might be a good time to get it in writing, sometimes people try to get out of these things.
Ainor, this is so embarrassing, but I think we could put together a little contract.
Oh yeah, of course. That'd be fine. I mean, it's a little unorthodox, but I understand. I get it.
Victor will I happen to have one pre-written here.
You have a pre-written contract. You have a pre-written contract for will work for food.
It's like will hire for murder.
Again, it's like
travel, food.
There's a lot of mad lipping going on with these contracts. You just write them in.
Lots of adjectives that don't really belong.
Did you take a level in bureaumancy?
Nope, I just get them pre-prepared for every time I go to a new town, and if they're like their local policing force or whatever doesn't have anything available, then I will attempt to be like,
a template.
Here you go.
Yeah. Yep. So she'll read it over really quick, sign it. She'll have everybody else sign it. You can go take it to a specific, like if you want to take it to the Arcanum, they'll magically seal it for a fee if you want. But if it's just a handwritten contract, I mean, that's good enough for Victor. It's good enough. All right. Well, I'll be back around midday. If I see one of y'all before then, I'll let you know about the bounded prices. Actually, Ezra, do you mind if we talk for a moment in private?
Sure.
Great. First of all, before that, pass one down. Everybody can have an epic dice for a wonderful little role play. And then, so you're going to go off and talk to Holics, and you're going to sell off the junk items this day as well, which we already covered.
Don't sell yourself. You're not junk.
Thank you.
And then, is anybody going with him to Holics?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. I don't have anything else.
I will hang back and wait for Ezra to
Okay.
finish his conversation.
Perfect. And then Victor's going with?
Eve will hang back, I should say.
Victor, I guess he'll as soon as they're out of earshot, it'll be like, I can't make sure. Did she sign this?
Yes.
Do you want me to hold on to it? Do you want to hold on to it?
Why don't you
I'll
seem
file it
more
away.
concerned?
I'll file it. And he's got this special little pouch. It's like little hole, cubby hole. And
It's like a little mini bag of holding, but just for contracts.
yeah, it's just this little it's like you roll it up, and as you
it's a bag
unroll it,
of
it's got little
contracts.
squares.
That's a good one. I like that. So we'll get to everybody's adventure to Holics, and we'll let you two catch up if you want to as well.
Okay.
But first, Ainor kind of pulls you out of earshot, and she goes, "You're Trevin's boy, right?"
Yes, that's correct.
Fireball. Doesn't have that yet.
Oh, crap. Right.
Go.
I'm really sorry what happened to your paw. That was no fun.
I haven't quite heard the news. I was actually out of town when whatever it was happened.
Right. He got arrested by the Arcanum. They took him off to the Beacon not too long ago. Not too long before I left, actually. And you said you were out of town?
I was on my way here for the festival.
Right. And she pulls out a scrap of paper and she goes, "Here. This I found this at the Arcanum office today when I was visiting with Justicar. And
does it say?
It is a bounty notice for one Ezra. What is your last name, actually?
Don't have a
Don't have a last name?
Clanless.
Ezra? Yeah. Okay.
That's my father left.
Yeah,
so.
perfect. Yeah,
Well,
so it's Ezra. It kind of has a brief description. It's got a very bad picture. Can't get your nose right? That's,
The ears are a little wrong.
Yeah, the ears are a little wrong. You look a little more elvish in this one than you do orcish. It's It's all over the place, but it's very clearly it gives a physical description of you as well, and it is a reward for 100 gold. Paid to the Arcanum upon delivery, alive.
All right. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, if I was you, I would suggest trying to maybe find a little bit of a disguise.
I think you're right.
Look, I have no allegiance to the Arcanum. They never done anything for me except for hassle my customers, and they don't tip very well. So I don't really have any sort of stake in it, and you done right by me, so I'm going to do right by you and give you that heads up. And also let you know that they're not the only ones that are looking for you.
What do you mean?
Well, about 2 days after Trevin got arrested, 3 people came to the restaurant and started haranguing my customers. They started asking questions about you, actually. If you frequented the location, if any of them were friends with you, if they knew any sort of like places that you would like to go visit on vacation, that sort of thing. And I got out there and I gave them a good cud chewing and got them out of there. But they weren't very pleasant people, I could tell. One of them was human, and he had this weird medallion on his chest. It was kind of a black disc with a golden hourglass on it, and then like there was this almost looked like an eye inside the hourglass. But the other two were worse. I couldn't really see them. They were kind of shrouded in these deep cloaks, but they felt like they didn't belong.
I'm not quite sure what my father was involved with.
I understand. You know, the sins of the father don't necessarily mean the sins of the son. I'm just giving you a friendly warning that there are people out there who think that you know something.
Well, I appreciate the information. It's good to have friends.
Yeah, it is. And she claps her hands, like suddenly changing moods, and she's like, right, I'm off to go see a man about a rabbit. And she runs off. And I know it's 2 rabbit.
Yeah.
It's an expression. Einor does wear cowboy boots, by the way.
Nice.
Because why not?
Oh, she does.
She's going to use the restroom.
Would we have taken a long rest, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Okay.
everybody's taking a long rest. If you haven't.
Ezra, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. It was friendly warning.
About?
Well, apparently there's a bounty for me. Pretty small for now, but enough that I might need to disguise or lay low. And people apparently looking for me in Willow Creek Hollow.
Well, let's get you a disguise.
Agreed. Probably just a cloak with a really big hood should be fine.
Handlebar mustache.
Maybe in another life.
Glasses with a nose on them.
All right. Well, let's go catch up with the others, and we can find the cloak for you. I'm sure.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you guys head out of Balin's Birth. Do you stop by the marketplace first and sell off your
Yeah.
gear?
Sell off
So
all the...
once again, the all of the junk item, you guys divvy that out already for the cost on that. Everything sold for about I think it was 50% cost because you're selling it, you're not buying it. And then the great axe actually sold for full price, sold for 30 gold. And that was there was a little bit of a conversation that happened when Bolt brought it up to the goblins, and they offered him 30 gold for it instead of normal, and he accepted. So, and then you also sold off those 5 gems, 50 gold each. You guys head up one of the other hills leading out of Balin's Birth. You've been up Borograd, which is the one closest to the road, and now you're going up to Palebend. And as you kind of crest the hill to Palebend, you see everything, the grass seems to just kind of die, and everything looks very industrialized. Everything's very, there's plenty of distilleries, plenty of different factories around that all seem to be churning out goods for ale and stuff. You can see some wheat stuff off in the distance, and that's actually where you're heading, because away from all of that, pretty much on the other side of Pale Bend, in what almost would be just like barely into the woods, is a small set of yurts. And in these yurts are minotaurs. All shapes and sizes. You see a couple kids running around. They're bashing horns and clashing, kind of thing. And you also see elementals. You see a couple earth elementals, small ones similar to the mudmen, that are kind of just like they're kind of just like traveling through the ground and making furrows in it, and some like minotaurs wandering behind them, planting seeds. You see that there's a couple water elementals that are just literally like they're just standing in the middle of a field, waving their arms around and letting like sprinkles fall over everything.
You like those?
Yeah, yeah, they're like wavy inflatable arm tube men. And actually, one of the little water elementals rushes up and starts like spinning around you and spiraling and making little gurgling sounds. And Hollick says, "Oh, it recognizes you from the other day. Hi, everybody." Welcome to the Naturebrew Village.
Thank you.
Well,
Sorry,
that
gotta get
hurts.
the dog out of here. He does have.
Eve would like to attempt to pick up the elemental.
It will do its best to maintain its shape in your hand, so you're kind of like sloshing it around. It's like holding a water balloon without the actual like skin of the water balloon.
Hello, little darling. It's so good to see you again.
And it just like gurgles back at you, and you don't speak Aquan,
Nope.
right? Does anybody speak Aquan? Nope. I didn't think so. That is kind of like the language of the Axtoli, of the Edequathan as well. They all speak kind of that Aquan language, but it just speaks in gurgles, and you can't really understand it.
Little sweetie.
What brings you here?
Well, I actually came to see you. Hopefully we're not interrupting anything.
No, not at all. We're just getting ready to get the next season planted. And, well, not next season. Well, we get it planted now, but it doesn't start growing until after winter. Like we're winding down, but some of these seeds take a little time to mature.
I was wondering if you could help us with something. Recently, we just went to Hollowbend Sanctum.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
We actually went and found Einor. She had been driven off the road by bandits.
and
Ended
you
up there.
and you made it out.
Yeah, it was quite difficult at times, but we did end.
I bet. Yeah, that's a terrible place. Well, it's terrible. What am I saying? Yes, it's terrible. I was there at the attack before. I can tell the kind of creatures that come out of Hollowbend.
There's this dragon pixie thing in there. She's the worst.
Never seen like an actual dragon.
No, it's a glittery, buggy thing.
She has
Kinda
butterfly wings.
Kind of like a lizard with butterfly wings.
Strange creatures sometimes.
Yes, very much.
But who am I to judge?
While we were in there, we came across an aberration of sorts. It was not of this world, not natural, and it seemed to be damaging the landscape. We were able to destroy it and remove its dark influence. But inside, we found this, and I'll pull out the Ember Core.
And his eyes immediately like light up, and he goes, "May I?"
Absolutely sure.
And he takes it reverently in his hands. And he goes, "This is incredible."
We were told that is the Ember Core of Embarrass, a flame elemental, or fire elemental, that was guarding the forest in this part of the sanctum.
I'm sorry to see that it passed on.
Well, that's what we're here for. Apparently, Glitterbug informed us that it is possible to bring them back using some druidic or elemental magic.
She may have been a little misleading in that. You can't really bring the actual creature back, the same Embarrass, but you can bring something back from their remains. If that makes sense. It's the whole cycle of nature, you see. Everything continues to ebb and flow. The cores of the dead bring on the life of the next generation. That sort of thing.
Okay.
She seemed to imply that were we to, I don't know, I guess bring it back or bring back something from it, that these attacks from the mud elementals that have been happening would stop. Do you think she was tricking us?
I mean, the elemental that would spawn from this core would have the memories of the previous one, and if it decided to go back to the sanctum, the chances are it would calm down everything else too. It seems like that's a little weird that the only thing keeping those elementals in check was this elemental. It might have been that darkness that was driving them crazy instead. Don't know. We can try, though, if you guys like.
Is there any danger in bringing this to life?
Only if you know how to do it wrong. And I know how to do it right. But I will need help, if y'all don't mind. I'm going into Einor a lot with Pollux. I mean, it makes sense.
It's the area.
Anyway, yeah, that's right.
You don't need to apologize for who you are.
I am.
True that.
Yeah, I am. I wasn't.
So, if you don't mind, I could use a little help with the ritual, but I think I can bring Embarrass back, or at least another version of him.
Well, that's why we brought him to you. You seem to be very knowledgeable around elementals and seem to be pretty in tune with nature.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So I'm gonna need everyone to go find me a few things just in the surrounding village, and it's very important that each of you
Scavenger hunt.
grab like each of these things. It's symbolic for nature to like bring things back and come together as a group. So if you don't mind, I'll be right over here, and he points to this kind of large bonfire that it isn't currently active. It's just a big bundle of sticks. I'll be over here prepping the rest of the ritual, but if you find me something of each of the 4 elements to bring over, we can get started. Okay?
If I have to kill 10 boars just to get 1 boar intestine, I'm going to be very upset.
Please don't kill any of our boars. They're not ready for slaughter yet.
Oh, right. Sorry. Of course.
We appreciate it. And don't kill any of the elementals either.
No.
They're all very friendly. All right. Good luck. And he starts tromping over. And as he does, he speaks out in Minotaur, and he says, because you can understand Minotaur. Mm-hmm. He says, "Dear, could you come help me with this a little bit? I need 4 of those ritual bowls." And you see another Minotaur come out, and he's got a stack of bowls, and he's like, yes, of course. And they start like setting up around this bonfire. He sticks the core in the center of it, and like he sticks it in and moves his hands out, and the bonfire starts crackling to life immediately. And they're setting up these bowls as you guys can go find something of the elements. And you can pretty much travel all throughout Six Hills for this, whatever you guys want to find. So think about like something of each of the elements and it doesn't have to be particularly literal, because wind is really hard to find. But you can find something that is similar to the 5th element style.
I'm gonna bring back a pinwheel.
Okay.
That,
Run in and like grab one from one of the toy shops,
Yeah.
the toy stands. Yeah.
I will find like a log and char it with the spell,
Okay.
and just kind of bring back the charred piece of it.
Okay, sounds good.
I want to start walking through town looking for something kind of earth related. Because you did fire, I'm assuming, right? Mm-hmm. And Bolt actually comes across a couple children running through the street.
One of these will do. Sorry.
They were stuck in the dirt. They were covered in dirt. That must count. And they're actually running around and picking wildflowers and putting them in each other's hair and laughing and giggling and stuff. And he's kind of bemused, just watching him a little bit. And they actually come up to Bolt and ask if he would like one. And Bolt says yes. So that's the thing that they're going to grab.
Okay, perfect.
Is the wildflower.
Mm-hmm. So for the 2 of you remaining, you just need one element. You don't need like one of you can grab an element and the other one could just like lays off. Like just grab an element, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. But you do need one of each, so one of you should take one.
The 5th element is love, and you can bring one of Uni's handkerchiefs
It's
she
hard.
gave you.
I'll put the mask on for the thing and reenact with it.
Yep.
All right. Victor, did you want to get the last element?
We need some water.
Sure, I can find something.
A tear.
Can't be what.
I can punch you again.
Oh no! Thank you, no thank you. I've had quite enough punches from you. It hurts. I guess I'll go to the. Is there like a well in town, or like do they have aqueducts? Like what's the waterworks in this? Is
Both wells and aqueducts.
so I'll go to one of the wells and draw, use water from it. Kind of put in and then fill my pouch or whatever for travel,
Mhm.
and have it ready.
All right. So, and then Eve, did you want to grab anything as well, or just?
Eve will bring a pine cone
Okay.
because I
yeah.
think we need one.
So you all converge back. Holix has this fire.
Pine
The last dandelion.
That's what I'm season.
So you all converge back on Holix. He's currently in the middle of a chant. You can see the fire is roaring now. A couple of the other minotaurs of the village have kind of joined in, and you can actually hear a few of the elementals are picking it up as well in a very similar chorus. In fact, as you're approaching, your chorus starts picking up in your ears and playing the same songs, and you can hear that same like rumbling of the mountain that the earth elementals are doing. Just because it is the choir of the crags.
The crags.
Yep. And Holix is in the middle of this really long like note, and he sees you and he goes, and he just stops the note immediately and says, you're back. We all found something, I assume. Wonderful. Now, there are 5 bowls here. If you please put your offering in one of the bowls, we will go ahead and get started. And I mean bowl, by the way. This is Cory saying bowl, not B-U-L-L.
Got it.
Walk up to the nearest minotaur.
Drink this water.
Alright. I guess I'll just take a little piece off then if it's a bowl.
Yeah,
Like just set the whole log on
you
it.
can. It's not like it's a big bowl.
That's where it just comes back and got this long like this. You're like, my bad. Okay.
So you each put one down, and he comes around and he inspects them, and he just like nods along, and then he starts out by picking up the pinwheel, and he says, "From the wind we gather strength forever," and he blows into the pinwheel and lets it blow out, and as it kind of comes out the other side, it's almost like it takes on an ethereal quality to it. You can almost see the air streams blowing off into the fire that roars to life again. And then he sets the pinwheel down, and he goes over to the bowl with the log in it, and he picks it up and he goes, "From the fire, death and rebirth, life renewed." And he throws the log into the fire itself, and then takes a little bit of the soot and kind of like puts it under his eyes a little bit. Then he puts a little bit under Ezra's eyes as well. It's symbolic.
Simba.
I like it.
And then he walks over to the flower, and he picks it up and he goes, "From the earth, the nurturer of all." And he puts it into the fire, and the flower, it doesn't actually catch fire. Like the fire kind of like weaves around it a little bit, but the bonfire does pick up again. And then he goes over to the water, and he picks it up and he goes, "And from the great rivers where all life began." And he tosses it, and it kind of lets out this gush of steam. And finally he goes over to the pine cone, and he picks it up and he goes, "And from all of nature, bound together in an endless cycle." And he crushes the pine cone and throws it in, and again it's just like and again the blaze is just getting bigger and bigger each time. And he says, "Come, Embarrass, your friends and those who wish you here seek your guidance once again." And he claps his hands together, and you can all feel kind of this tug, almost as if something is connecting your thread to this elemental through this ritual. It isn't invasive. It's more of just like a symbolic, like, yes, my spirit wants you here, and I think because you have all participated in this ritual. And the fire itself suddenly collapses like the bonfire does, and dies down to kind of a dull roar, and then breaking out of the out of the wood, the charred wood, is a wing, and then it kind of shakes off the rest of it, and this small owl made completely of flame, or rather with like red feathers and whatnot, kind of shakes itself off. Well, it's got a collar on already.
That's Glitterbug's work.
Yes.
It was collaring things.
And Hollix bows his head and he goes, "Welcome, great Embarrass. It is wonderful to see your spirit join us again." And the owl kind of what's the fire language?
Ignis?
Ignis?
I don't know.
I know it's Orin for when
Infernal?
primordial. Infernal, yeah. Whatever. It'll speak common and it'll say, "It is surprising to be back. I
Ignin.
thought I was lost to darkness." What was it?
Ignin.
Ignin?
If you're going by 5e.
Yep. But it'll just be common. And Hollix is like, "These brave heroes brought you back at the request of a... What did you say their name was?"
Glitterbug.
And Embarrass goes, "Thank you. I appreciate you bringing me back. I hope that Glitterbug wasn't too much for you."
She was a lot.
She is a lot.
You know, I kind of liked her.
I do too, which is why I will be heading back there shortly. But
Before you go,
yes,
just to warn you,
Probably just saying
there was some sort of creature not of this plane or of this world that had taken over part of your forest. We were able to destroy.
I remember it killed me,
Yes.
or the previous me. Sorry, it's hard to come back.
I would imagine so. We were able to destroy all of its influence in the area that we found it, but there were a few smaller creatures that were connected to it that ran off that we were unable to destroy. So just as a warning, you may want to try to find them and perhaps destroy them.
I will purge my forest, or his forest.
Glitterbug mentioned something about if you were to return, that it would stop these mud elemental attacks. I don't suppose that's true.
I will talk with her about that. She may have been just trying to have you bring me back. Again, she's a lot.
Yes.
You know what? Perhaps I could send her a message to let her know that you're on your way.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Excellent.
Now, if there's nothing else, and she, we'll say the owl form is a she now. She kind of shakes out her feathers and leaves a couple of the fiery plumage and says, "Best of luck to you all. And hopefully I will see you again." And then she takes off in kind of this streak of fire, very much the phoenix rising from the ashes, as it were, until she is out of sight. And there is nothing left but 5 feathers.
Pick one up.
They're very clearly like elemental magic. What they may be used for, who knows? We'll find out later.
Cool.
Ezra, I had an idea. You come here for a moment. I remember in one of my trainings there was a way to help disguise some of your more prominent features. And there's some soot.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of
Before
soot
you do,
around.
I'll like grab your hands.
And I'll be like, "Don't worry, I can
And I'll
see you
reach-
when you're this
I'll reach
close."
into my bag and pull out my scroll of disguise that I got earlier.
You can like put it over your
You
eyes like this, and like
read.
down here. It's really cool.
That's really cool.
It's like
Really cool.
like I'm thinking Norse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Much like a
Yes.
Norse band. Yeah.
No, I'll just use the scroll of disguise.
It looks
Well, why
very
didn't you
fierce.
say you had that to begin with?
Do you want to try and write that down? in your book?
Yeah, I want to try and copy all of these down. I had 3, I believe.
I need to remember the exact ruling on that.
Yeah, it's gold cost and
A day cost, I just don't
Yeah.
remember how much.
I mean, if we have 28 days on the road, I'll just spend the time.
Sure.
and
Yeah, we have
money.
plenty of time.
And in the meantime, I'll just kind of keep my hood and hope that I don't get in trouble.
So Hollix kind of wipes a few like errant tears away, and he goes, "Thank you for letting me participate in this. It's not every day you bring a great elemental back to life and bond with it, essentially."
What do you suppose happened there? It felt like there was a sort of a tug on my spirit.
So for most elementals, it is just a temporary pull. The elemental spirit using your request, your lifeline, to come back to the world. But I've never really done it with something that powerful before.
So is all our hit point maximum
Yeah.
raised by 5?
We all got a max hit point reduction.
That means you have 2 hit points now, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not really sure what the consequences are, but I've never heard of an issue ever arising from it. I would just, if you can nurture that connection, do it. I know I will.
That was neat.
Well, we appreciate your help.
Of course.
We would have been pretty much stuck without you.
Anytime. If you find any more greater elemental cores, I'd be more than happy to help you bring them back.
He's like our Professor Oak now. Every time we get an elemental core, we're just going to send it
Collect
back
all
to him.
4.
Another Taurus, just because I'm a Minotaur.
Lots of crabbies.
Lots of crabbies. Now, if you'll excuse, unless there was something else, did you guys want a tour? Can I treat you to lunch or anything?
That's so sweet, but we must be on our way. When are you getting married?
Oh, it won't probably be until. That's a good question. Like a month. Not a month. It's not 1 month from now. That would be terrible. That would be a lot that I would have to do suddenly if it was a month from now. He actually says we're getting married in Ignis. It's just before planting season and just before everything really gets in bloom. So it's a nice time for us to tie the old knot there. Literally, we tie a knot as part of the ceremony.
I love that.
It's really nice. So, I mean, if you want to come, I'd be happy to have you.
Oh, I would love to come. Perhaps you could send me an invitation as it gets closer.
Of course, yeah. Do you have a permanent address?
I don't. I have this ring.
And he looks at it and he goes, "Communication rings are very interesting, aren't they?" And he just kind of taps it against his nose ring, and a little set of horns appears etched into it. And
This is
it
the coolest thing.
How many can that hold?
It's like a Rolodex.
It's magic.
How many gigs does that have?
You're gonna
Contacts.
forget how many people you know.
Keeping it careful.
You can only have 10 contacts, so you have to
So
delete
what was
one
the
eventually.
symbol that's on it now?
Just a pair of horns.
Pair of horns.
Yep.
Okay.
Because
Thank you.
is the one in his nose, his communication ring.
It does have several symbols.
And so he's
etched
like,
into it.
someone's calling. It's
piece
like,
of paper comes out.
I had to get him transferred once I got my engagement ring.
You sound really nasally. You're not coming. Oh, sorry.
It's funny that
Thank you,
asked
Alex.
3 people and they've all known what you're talking about. How convenient.
It's a
Who knows?
fairly
Actually,
ubiquitous ring.
I can't remember who you asked, but they weren't able to do anything.
Oh, there was
one. I can't remember what it was though.
Last session.
There's Kes, Glitterbug, Taurus Man.
Don't remember.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Someone.
But I'll send you an invitation as soon as we get them ready.
I would love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your help.
No problem.
We could not have done this without you.
Well, like I said, anytime you have another elemental core, feel free to bring it back. I'd be more than happy to help bring more elementals back into the world. There's not enough of them left. And he kind of, on that somber note, he wanders off, and as he does, he like reaches down because the little water elemental is following along, and he like runs his hand through it, and kind of that water like through it thing, and then scoops it up a little bit. It's fine.
It's like,
It's all cool. But yeah, you guys can head back after that.
Yeah.
The village, people in the village wave goodbye to you. It's like you're old friends now. So everybody has exalted reputation with Naturebrew tribe, I suppose. So you get back into town, and as you are, you actually see Einor. She's just heading back to the Bull's Whistle, and she stops and she says, "Oh, there you are. So you want the good news or the bad news?"
Both, I think.
I guess it's really just the same news. Your standard bounder is going to be, at least your standard riding bounder is going to be about 100 gold. And
What?
I'd rather walk,
Yeah.
especially after my last incident with riding a bounder. I'd rather walk anyway, even if it were free.
Yeah, and I had to actually downgrade from a bounder too. It'd be nice to have one, but no, I had to get myself something a little cheaper. That's 50 gold is too much for one that can pull you along. That's for sure.
What'd you end up with?
Well, it was between a donkey or a mule, so I picked the donkey.
2 orphans.
With flowers in their hair.
With flowers in their hair, yeah. And then you guys also did find out that draft horses are about 50 gold, and then riding horses are about 75 gold for a riding horse to buy one. And again, you might be able to sell them once you get to town, but it does leave you pretty short in the meantime.
Well, it looks like we're getting some exercise then.
I don't mind a walk. Like I said, gives us time to formulate our
I've
plan.
I've walked this far from Malagoth. What's a few more miles?
Good calisthenics training.
And time to learn how to fight in the dark.
Yes.
Time to read.
Yes.
Lots of reading.
Do you need to say goodbye to Yinny before we leave?
No. I've got her number. Where she
Ginny
lives.
sneezes from so far out there.
Someone's talking about me.
You have
It's
her
a halfling
communication ring number?
I don't have. I'm not that fancy. New technology scares me.
Wow. Okay, Dad.
22-year-old.
I'm supposed to be the dad.
You're the
I think
grandpa.
and the mom.
Okay.
Yes.
No, she's fine. We
Again,
I'm so sorry.
every time you talk about it, I swear I hear someone sneezing.
let me try this. Yinny. No.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's fine. We exchanged some different ideas. I've showed her a few different knife dancing techniques. Should be fine. We might. I mean, I don't have any. Am I not picking up on a social cue here that I am not missing?
Well,
Victor, even I'm picking up on it.
we
You
think.
taught her your knife positions. I mean techniques.
Well,
Are
of
you-
course. You want me to show you my knife positions?
Einor turns to Ball and says, would you come help me with my wagon?
Sure, I have no idea what they're talking about anyway.
I'm so.
Please. Wow.
I feel like he's hinting at something. I'm not.
Ever since you
Kids these
drank
days.
that nectar, something.
There's a residual bit of
Yeah. I guess so.
randomly Bolt just sprays you, just a little mist because I have some of it.
I gotta
Oh,
make
dear.
make the love rope.
Anyhow,
Anyway.
shall we?
Yeah, so you guys head on over to the center of Balin's Birth, where you can see a whirly clamp lowering the last of what appears to be a huge number of supplies into Einor's wagon. It's pretty much like full up to the brim with a bunch of different supplies and everything. And she says, when you're in Balin's Birth, you gotta get something to go. And the restaurant needs material, and we need good food along the way, don't we?
I'm excited to see what you can concoct from all this.
So am I.
She's like,
Just
welcome,
Google
my
Gordon
guinea
Ramsay
pig.
recipes.
I've got a few things here, so yeah.
Better not be microwaved.
And you can see that there is a rather sad looking donkey hooked up to this gigantic wagon.
He's looking
Yeah.
over his shoulder like,
No,
please help me.
What's the name of the donkey on Hercules?
Oh
Good
yeah.
old, what's her name? Twisted her ankle back there.
I don't remember. Thank you, Preston.
Welcome. Hercules Donkey is named.
Riveting. This is riveting content.
I can't say it.
They're Greek.
Yeah.
Amphirion and
There's Pegasus, obviously, but that's not it.
Alcime.
So
Alchemy.
I don't know how to say it.
Wow. Well, that
go
was
watch
that fits
Hercules.
on an
That was a great
Pause it
30
at that part,
seconds.
and then tell us how you say it.
Put it in the
Please.
comments below.
Yeah.
Spell it phonetically.
be let out.
Probably. So as we go ahead and Ainor climbs up into the wagon, there is room enough for one other person if you guys want to take shifts. She does offer that passenger seat. It's not the most comfortable, but it's a break from walking.
Bolt
so.
sits down and
If Bolt is going to be in there, she'll hand you the reins and then step
No.
into the back.
No, I think I look at it and think about it, and then I look at the sad looking donkey, and I go, all right, let's walk. Maybe you can get some reading time in.
Not
Okay.
a bad idea.
Perfect. And with that, you guys head off on a long journey up the long road. All right. We are traveling up the long road. This first leg of your journey is going to take 10 days. It's basically 10 days from Six Hills to Willow Creek Hollow. Each night, you can either choose to camp on the side of the road, or you can choose to camp at a village. Pretty much every about 25 miles or so, which is about how far most people travel in a normal day, is at least some village that has an inn if you want to stay there, or if you want to, but that'll be extra costs on top of everything, so that's up to you guys.
I'll be
So,
honest, I'm a little
something,
nervous about you
Going to
being
town.
out in public.
That's a fair point. I don't mind sleeping on the ground.
I'm comfortable under the stars.
It's a new life.
Slumber
Sorry,
party
looking
it
at
is.
Perfect. So the road from Six Hills to Willow Creek Hollow is long and winds around multiple hills.
You mean Hollow Bend?
No, Willow Creek Hollow.
So that's where
It's on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hollow Bend Sanctum was where you were.
Right.
The area between the two major settlements is littered with small villages, forests, marshes, and distant farmlands. But for the most part, the well-traveled road is beautiful green grass and colorful fields of flowers. Creatures like deer, bounders, field mice, and all manner of fowl are common, as are their natural predators. It isn't uncommon to see a fox race after a squirrel or watch a hawk swoop down into the grass only to peel away with either a clutched prize or a cry of frustration. And as you travel along, if you'd like, you can choose to kind of spend your day. Consider it downtime. You can spend your day training. You have to take breaks every now and then so that the donkey, which you guys can name, Ainor doesn't care.
Penelope.
No,
Sure.
yeah. Penelope needs to take breaks for drinks and stuff, and you break for lunch and everything. For the most part, Ainor just makes like simple stews for lunch and like quick things for breakfast. Dinner is where she really says that's where she shines, but she doesn't want to spoil you too much. And then you can also, if you want to do downtime training, you can to learn either a new language or a new skill or something that'll happen when you gain a level, for example. Or you can try and transcribe.
Yeah.
You can go hunting if you want to kind of supplement your rations. I don't think anybody bought rations, but you'll have an opportunity.
I'm fully expecting her to keep her end of the bargain.
Mm-hmm, yep. So for the first 10
I
days,
have a
you won't have to
contract.
worry about rations and rationing. The next leg of the journey after she departs, you will have to keep track of that. So you want to make sure that you guys buy enough rations.
Yeah, I want to try and copy my spells into my book.
Okay.
And then whatever the gold cost is, we can do that offline. That's fine.
I just need to remember. I'm sure there's 3 comments that are like, it's this.
It's like I think it's 50 gold per spell level.
spell.
and so, but I could
Per
be
spell
wrong.
level or per spell?
I thought it was per spell level, but I might be wrong.
Oh, okay. I might be too poor to do all of them, but I will for sure at least do disguise.
Unless it's an evocation, a chronergy spell for you. There's
Yeah,
probably,
there.
but there's not a lot of
There's not a
chronergy spells out there.
There's like 5.
So copying
Yeah.
a spell is 1 hour. No, that's for replacing the book. That's 10 gold pieces to do it. For each level of the spell, it takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold.
For each level.
For each
of the
spell level,
Okay,
yeah.
so let me look up disguise and I'll you go.
It should be like disguise self is what it is, or is
Yeah,
it just
let
called
me-
disguise?
I just wrote down disguise, so
I think it's disguise self. That sounds right.
So kind of, I just want a general idea of what you guys are doing each day to kind of get an idea. If there's something special that you want to do on one day, you can let me know, but I won't make you play out 10 different days.
Yeah, so it's just disguise self. So I'll do. Was it 2 hours? You said.
2 hours.
2 hours,
50.
5
Okay.
gold there.
So I'll just do that spell
Okay.
for now.
Yeah. It's
Since
putting in your notation is all it's doing.
since Bolt doesn't have to sleep, they will keep watch every night because they can go into Sentry's Rest where no unconsciousness, but they can still see and hear as normal. So
Your head just kind of spins around. every
Yeah.
now and then.
it's kind
wanna-
of stand up.
I want to see if Ezra can teach me how to be a little better at detecting the arcane
Okay.
and develop my Arcana skill.
Okay.
If I could.
Yeah. So I think for training it's something like over the course of like 30 days. So you'll probably have enough time as Sari basically asks, and you probably like come up with some like, okay, I remember when I was first learning how to like detect magic.
Right.
My instructors would put little like things around the school that were magical or had specific magical tokens or auras that we needed to identify.
Right.
So you start quizzing, and maybe you'll enchant a stone really quick and like toss it ahead, and then
So she
make
can
Sari
follow
pick it out of the pile, kind of thing.
Well, and then I'll hold up a thing and be like, "What's on the end?" Like,
And if I'm
potter's
wrong,
cup.
you shock me.
Yep.
Oh,
Like in Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yeah. I'm sorry, that's just wrong.
Just because I'm not as pretty as her, isn't it?
Eve and Victor, I'm assuming, are going to be working on fighting blindly.
Yes.
I actually do want to talk to Bolt and tell him this idea that I have. Basically, seeing the owl, I want to make a familiar, but I want to have an owl that has like clockwork pieces to kind of represent like time. So like, I'm wondering basically if you would like build the shell of it and then all enchant it to become my
Sure.
familiar.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. So the first day passes without any issues. By the way, you can research in your book once each day as well. Let me just pull up.
One other thing.
Yeah.
What is the moon cycle? Is it like close to a full moon?
Right. Yeah.
Are
right
we in a
now,
place where we could hunt for lunaberries?
right now, you're probably about a few days away from the full moon. Yes. There are a few forests if you do want to kind of detour on one of these nights. Probably about 3 days in would be your first opportunity for lunaberries
I
specifically.
like it. And I'm gonna be asking Einor.
Sari and Colby's quirks are one and the
Pretty
same.
much. If she has like all of the necessary ingredients from my mom's recipe, like cinnamon,
Yeah, got
clotted
cinnamon,
cream,
got the clotted cream.
like sourdough bread.
Kid, you ask me these 3 times a day, I swear. But yes, I got them all. Don't worry. It'll all be
Nutmeg,
good.
you have nutmeg.
Yes, I absolutely have nutmeg. I grabbed every single spice that I could. Trust me, I don't leave home unless I have a
And
fully stocked
we've
kitchen.
got eggs. We've got
Got some eggs.
In the background, you hear Eve get hit by another stick.
Victor, are you sure this is how the tree is
Yes, keep
supposed to
your
work?
eyes covered. If you can
Use the
dodge a
force,
stick, you can
Evie.
dodge other things too.
I've got a headache. Let's try
All right,
again.
listen. I'll make a noise before it comes. You need to listen for it. You listen for the vibrations in the air. You will hear it. You can. It's so simple. Why can't you? No, throw another one. Let's take a break.
So, 2 days pass, and you guys just kind of travel along. Einor's she's getting used to the party. She's still a little. There's still a few things about you guys that she like shakes her head with, a little bit. Let's see, what was the? So you guys come around a corner and you see that one of these hills, and you kind of entered into this sort of like rocky area with a bunch of mossy rocks, and one of these rocks shifts and kind of stands up, and this big troll stretches out his arms, flexes a little bit for nobody in particular, and he sees you and he goes, "Food?
Are you
Food?
asking if we are food?
If you don't have food, you are food."
Well, that's debatable.
I'm sorry.
Can I stealth?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
Go
attempt
and roll
to
me a
anyway.
stealth check.
That is going to be 23.
Yeah, you feel like
Yay, roguey stuff.
and so you kind of like disappear in among these rocks, and the
I want to
troll-
basically just kind of see if I can get behind him.
and the troll points at the donkey and says, "I'll take that for food.
Not sweet Penelope.
You got something else in mind?"
Yes, the sharp end of my halberd. Well, glaive, sorry.
What? And he kind of like, "You're not going to give me food?
Why would we give you food?
I own the road."
According to what contract? Vicky, Vicky?
I own this stretch of the road. I always have. Well, since about a month ago, I've always had this road.
I thought it was called the Long Road, not the... What is your name?
Brux.
Not the Brooks Road.
It is now Brux Road. Pay Brux food or suffer Brux wrath. I don't usually speak like that, but it sounded really good.
How are our rations looking?
You got a fully stocked wagon still.
No, this is our food.
What?
He doesn't own this road.
What type of food do you like to eat?
Anything raw. And he's eyeing Penelope a lot.
You leave Penelope alone. You're a very bad troll. Bad troll.
Give me an intimidation check, would you?
Oh, I didn't roll very well.
Do you still have your
6
blindfold
plus
on and you're trying to admonish him, but you can't. You're like,
You're
"Bad
pointing
choice
like
over here."
slightly to the left. Yeah, exactly.
9.
I'm not a bad troll.
You're behaving quite poorly, I have to admit.
I'm opportunistic.
What would your mother say?
You're no better than a bandit. Move aside, or we'll kill you.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
By the way, you'll note when she's looking for Victor, 4 of his knives are laying on the ground.
Okay. You did plant 4.
Over by
You're like smoke bomb, but throw your knives in the ground instead and run away.
Alright, intimidation. That's 14.
And he kind of like cracks his neck and he says, "You can try."
How about we just take a nap? I'm going to cast sleep.
Whoa.
Let's see if that
So
works.
what is the save that he needs to do?
It's not a save,
It's,
it's
it's
hit
based on
points.
his
Hit
hit
points.
points. So I got to roll.
Let me
You
pull
roll.
up.
and
See if it's
see.
above his hit
I'm
point.
scared because I
It
don't
might
know.
not
But we'll see.
work.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's worth a shot. So
Do it. What level are you casting this spell at?
just the base level for
Okay.
level. 25. That's probably not enough.
kind of. That's not very nice, stupid magic user. And he grabs this like club off the ground and he says, "Brox, kill you all now and eat that." And he points at Penelope. Penelope.
I've
go ahead and
doomed
roll
our donkey.
initiative.
Okay.
It was worth a shot.
Oh, son of a... I've had really bad initiative rolls on this character.
I will point out. So
I rolled
okay.
a 2.
I do want to point out as we're rolling initiative here that this is very uncommon for the Long Road. The Long Road is supposed to be very well protected by the House of Greenwood in Terrebaun. The fact that they haven't been protecting it,
recently.
yeah. And you guys have noticed you had an encounter with bandits. Ainor had one. You guys, as soon as you left the forest, there were more bandits. And
The
now
House
there's,
of what now?
Greenwood. Greenwood is usually.
Greenwood's in trouble.
So something is going on here. This is definitely not normal, and it is for sure affecting the. It's for sure affecting the rolls for like random encounters. That's for sure.
Screen shatters. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
All right, initiative is done. The battlefield is set. You guys are fighting a troll at level 3. This should be fun.
Game, set, match.
Yep. So let's go ahead and begin with Ezra.
Okay. I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself, obviously, and get behind some rocks.
Alrighty.
I'll just go right there. And that's my turn.
Perfect. After Ezra, Victor, who has been skulking around in the shadows.
I'm gonna attack him at range with Shadow Song. Which I only have one action right now, I believe. Yes. So I'm gonna use Shadow Song. And I'll kind of throw it kind of at the back of his knee. See if I can hit him. So that's an 18.
18
5.
will hit.
Yeah, hit. Okay. That's gonna
Or
be
18 plus 5.
And there's nobody by
That will
him.
hit too.
Do I have advantage? I don't think I do.
He does not see you, so yes, you do have advantage if you'd like to roll for a crit.
Okay.
Because he did not spot you.
It's a natural 1, so no.
Okay.
But that also means I get my sneak attack damage.
Alrighty.
So it's actually 2d6. Whatever. I'll just look at here. Call it good. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing damage.
I'm going to throw it, and then I'm going to use my movement to try and use this as cover.
Okay.
And duck back down.
Can you hide as a bonus action? No?
I can disengage. Actually,
Yeah,
No,
you
you
can.
should be able to hide.
Yeah, you've got cunning action.
actually, cunning action. Yeah, so I'll use my bonus action to hide. Or
Okay.
attempt to hide.
So,
I just, like,
so the dagger slams into the troll and you're oh, what? Who did that? But you're already gone. Actually, roll me a stealth check. I suppose I have to actually.
that is a 23.
Yeah. He's looking around. He
Yeah.
can't see you. Bolt, it's actually your turn next.
I'm going to run up right in front of him.
Okay.
And just try to hit him. Thunder Gauntlet style.
You go clopping up and then just like wham.
Mm-hmm. Try
Like
to keep
the
him
band.
try to keep him distracted. I'm going to use both epic dice to reroll or to roll this.
Sheppy.
13.
13 will miss.
I'm gonna roll back time.
Oh,
Give me another chance.
Turn back time.
So again, out in all directions of you, just a million bolts, and then I bring one over, and that's where the timeline we're at now.
this timeline better be better. Yeah, that's better. 18.
18 will hit.
Yes.
As previously established.
I'm not very good with this yet.
Luckily, Ezra's there to.
but that other version of yourself is great.
Mhm.
I need to remember to
permanently
stretch.
have that
I need to
version.
remember to stretch. Yeah.
Like, sorry, he keeps leaving. He just stays for one action and then goes away.
He just guides your hand lovingly. Punch like this.
Yeah.
So that's 8 damage.
8 damage.
And if the troll attacks anything else other than me, they get disadvantage on their attack rolls.
Okay. Nice.
Till the start of my next turn.
Alrighty, perfect. So it is the troll's turn next. You can see it kind of it pulls the knife down and then lets it drop, and you can see the wound is already healing. Typical trolls things, that kind of thing. Taking trolls. And then because you are the only one in front of it, it doesn't have a club. Well, this one has a club. It is going to make a trio of attacks against you.
Trio.
A trio.
With a tree.
A trio
Just
with a
grab
tree,
it.
yep. So that's a 20
It is a Gandalf
on
staff
the first
swing.
one.
Ouch.
So that's its bite attack, actually. So it kind of brings its jaws down to try and like snap into you and kind of like claws. Its teeth claw into your armor. I'll get to the damage here in just a moment.
Okay.
The next one is a 12 to hit.
Misses.
And then lower. So only the bite dealt any damage to you. And you take 9 piercing damage as this thing like picks you up and like jerks you around and then like tosses you off to the side. Okay, then we go to Seredan.
Okay. I'm going to run up this way and kind of get sort of on its side.
Mhm.
I'm going to bonus action cast Hexblade's Curse on it
All right.
and make an attack. Should I use it? I don't know. It might be too low to make it worth it, but we'll try. So that's 14.
14 will miss.
you have inspiration, maybe?
I do not.
So he was outside of my range earlier, so I'll just use my inspiration for making that hit.
He was outside of your range?
I'm not within 10 feet of him. To be able to see him, so I would have been disadvantaged, so then the advantage would have been canceled out. It would have been normal, so I'm just
Oh, yeah, but you rolled your one attack before you knew you had advantage anyway, so don't
Okay.
even worry about it.
Okay, cool.
I'm a generous man. Thank you.
Bonus action.
So-
Yes, write that down. You started writing that note, right, when I said I was generous, and you're like,
Cory is a generous man.
generous, yeah.
Lovely, and we love him so much. Everything he does is
that's
genius.
it. That's my turn.
Okay, perfect. Eve. As Seredan comes up and tries to slice at one of the legs, it doesn't really work.
Wait, don't you have a butt action attack?
Oh no, I used my bonus action for Hexblade's Curse.
Oh.
Yep, moving on up.
I missed that for some reason.
Eve rushes up to the troll as well. Brux.
Brux.
Yep.
Oh, Brux.
The breath of Brooks.
It smells worse than the Minotaur, by the way.
Oh, Brux.
Yeah.
And she is going to use her Nature's Wrath Channel Divinity,
Okay.
which, as an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed on a strength or dex saving throw, its choice of 13, or be restrained.
Okay. So these vines start creeping up and start wrapping around his arm. Then he just goes, "Brux is too strong!" and rips
Damn
the
you,
vines out of the
Brux.
ground.
I mean, darn you.
Damn, it's fine.
Is it? Okay.
I mean, for a cleric, it's a little...
Paladin.
It's a little... Or, that's what I meant. For paladin, it's a little edge.
I'm a paladin. I
Language.
can swear as much as I'd like. Damn it.
And she just says, "Oh, Brux, you should have worn your deodorant today. I'm afraid we'll have to punish you for not doing so."
What is deodorant? Brux demands, is it tasty? Ezra, it is your turn.
Awesome. Okay. I'm going to step out from cover. Just there.
Okay.
And I will hit it with a firebolt.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
So that is a 23.
23 will hit.
Okay. That is 4 damage. 4 fire damage.
4 fire damage. As the fire hits him, he lets out a roar. Ah, fire! You guys don't play fair. You're being bad.
Oh.
Oh, Brooks. And then I'll move back behind the rock.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
As a low level wizard, perfect strategy.
It's the image of you coming around the corner.
Yes. Salt Bay.
Yep. Victor, your turn.
Alright. I'm going to use my movement to rush up to him. 30. And I'm going to pick up Shadow Song for my free action.
Mhm.
I'm going to slash at the back of his knees again
Okay.
and say, "It's nothing personal. I have a contract and you're threatening the food that I will eat." And he's going to slash. And then my bonus action, I'm going to call back 2 of the blades over here.
Perfect. So go ahead and roll me your attack first.
We'll be going to eat Penelope.
Right. So that's...
If things get rough.
There we go.
It was Plan B.
So
Better than
First
each other.
Penelope, then Ainur. Then all the food in the
How
cart.
about the food in the cart first?
So it's a 13.
13 will miss.
And then I'm going to use my inspiration to reroll it.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Yes!
Good use of inspiration.
So, and I'm going to pour in my
There you go.
Okay.
dice. And since there's adjacent, I also get my sneak attack. I'll just roll it over here. And we're doing max damage plus
Plus roll. Yep.
Okay, so that's 12 plus
Oh my.
11, so that's 23 plus 27, 30, right? 7 plus 4?
Plus
Plus those
30
dice.
plus...
31. It'd be 31. 7 plus 4.
Okay,
So
yeah.
27
Sorry,
plus
31, and then plus 3, so 34 total slashing damage.
And the
Plus
dice
10.
value.
because a 4-sided die and a
Yeah.
6-sided die max damage.
Oh yeah.
So that
So
should be
44 damage.
44 damage. So it'll just be like a
Yeah, you go through both ankles, and he
Get the Achilles
crunches
tendon.
down to his knees.
Watch the Achilles tendon go.
Yeah, and lets out a painful roar.
And then,
Sorry, was it 44?
44
yep. And then I need to roll, or he needs to roll a dex save.
for your 2 daggers.
Oh, that's right.
And that's going to be 1d4 or 2d4 for the slash.
What is the save on that?
I believe it's 12.
12? He manages to make both of those saves. He did
Okay.
very well on those two.
Okay, so then those two. And it's like they're not just like appeared. He does kind of like the what's his name. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yondu?
Yeah, when he's kind of like he does the slash, and then he kind of like does this like, and then they
Oh, nice.
into his hands.
Perfect.
Sweet. So it's like the vibration kind of kicks him up out of the dirt.
Yeah, he's definitely looking hurt. He's trying to like bring himself. You can see that his wounds aren't healing as well as they otherwise might. And then it is Bolt's turn.
Seeing that he was yelled out, "Oh, fire!" I'm gonna firebolt.
Okay. Are you going to back away and firebolt? Or are you going to do it from?
That's right. But I think it's disadvantage.
Yeah, it'd be disadvantage.
In that case, then no, I'll just do Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
Yep, I'll just keep trying to keep his attention on me versus my team.
Okay.
16.
16 will hit.
Nice. Max damage.
Yeah, so you
whopping 12.
bring him to his knees, and as you do, Bolt uses the momentum and uppercuts him. How much was it?
12.
12 damage? So he's
Or 11, sorry. 11 damage.
11.
His molars shatter.
Yeah. Yeah, some of his teeth are gone. He spits them out. There's blood. He's like, this isn't fair! But it is his turn, unless you have anything else you'd like to do.
I'm going to do... No, actually, I'm good. Yep.
Okay. And he's going to raise his club up into the air, and he's going to slam it into the ground. I need everybody adjacent to him, which is the entire party except for Ezra. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Are you kidding me?
17.
19.
19.
21.
21.
6.
So Eve is the only one who is caught off guard as these kind of like it basically shakes the earth and sends like pebbles and boulders flying up or everything. So you're going to take only 3 bludgeoning damage, but you are also knocked prone.
These are also things you can hear before they come to you.
Victor, I'm trying.
You're doing well. Keep it up.
And then it is Seredan's turn.
Okay. I'm going to make another attack.
Okay.
And this one is going to hit. 16?
16 will hit.
Yeah.
You called it.
I know. Alright, so
Called shot.
that is... Sorry. And remember, they're cursed, so... Right. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go for an attack with the butt of my glaive. That misses. I'm really bad with my butt action.
Gotta do some squats, man.
So you slice
That on
one
a
of his
t-shirt.
arms so that he raises up. You can see that the fire is kind of fading and he's starting to regenerate a little bit quicker now. And then you kind of try to swing the butt of your weapon around, but you can't quite get it to connect. You're feeling a little off today, apparently,
Yeah.
which is fine. Eve, it is your turn.
Well, I'll stand back up.
Use just half your movement.
And then I will attack with my longsword.
Milong sword. Milong sword.
Let's see. It's, 22.
22 will hit.
I'll roll with the correct damage dice
Okay.
this time. And I will add this to it.
Okay.
Ah! And that is 8,
Plus
9, 10, 11.
Yep.
That's enough. You stab right into the troll heart, and he kind of gives that last little gurgle and then falls over.
Well done, well done. You even did that blindfolded.
Yep.
Great job!
That's on your forehead right now.
So you guys kind of share a little bit of victory, pat each other on the back, wonder how you're going to get this troll corpse off of the road.
I'll call back the other.
I thought of a new nickname for you, Victor. We'll call you Victory.
Victory. I like that.
Hmm.
You should take notes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and start trying to drag the corpse.
Doesn't have the same
off,
ring
or
to it.
maybe behind the rocks or something.
Okay. So
many-
you
too many
start
syllables.
dragging it off as everybody's chatting. Go ahead and give me a strength saving throw, please.
Saving throw? Oh, no.
11.
11. With disadvantage.
Pull the hammy.
Even higher. So
11. That's still good enough. Suddenly, the troll's arm lashes out and grabs your leg and lifts you up into the air, and it's going to make 3 attacks on you by slamming you into the ground 3 times as it
style.
stands up.
puny gods.
Where?
fire!
But
More
where
fire!
is he? Like, am I close enough
He
that I can
is-
use my reaction?
Yeah, so he didn't get very far. He's basically in the same space.
Okay.
So the first attack here is going to be... well,
Does he get
going to-
disadvantage because he's attacking from prone position?
No, he's standing up as
Oh,
he
he's stood up,
Yeah, it's all part of his
Alright,
strategy. He's actually got advantage because he's basically holding you. So the first one is a 26 to hit. The second one is a 17 to hit.
Yes.
And then the third one is a 24 to hit.
Hits.
So you're going to take 2 sets of damage here. Take 22 damage minus
-5.
minus 5. 22 bludgeoning damage.
So 17 damage.
17 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
Yep.
I am very, very, very hurt.
Okay.
And this troll basically like
I'm on
slams
my
you into the
last
ground a couple
leg.
times, tosses you just 10 feet away, and prone. And says, "You will not kill Brooks that easily." He's still looking very hurt, but he's definitely regenerating.
I believe you.
Oh, no.
Okay. So it is back after the troll's turn, Seredan.
Okay. I'm gonna attack him.
Okay.
And be like, stay down, you stupid beast. 16.
16 will hit.
So that's 14 damage.
14 damage. Yeah, so you stab him in the back and right into the spine, and he collapses back to the ground again.
I say, Ezra, fire! Fire!
Would I have known that
I'm
was
telling you, fire! You
Because
didn't like
I
it.
moved
You
behind
didn't
the
like
rock.
it.
And I think he's dead. I don't want to just burn a dead body.
So I think Sari at this point can give you enough of
then I'll do
a
it.
free action. Yeah. So yeah. So with the fire, the troll cannot regenerate on its next turn at 0 hit points, so it is dead. So congratulations.
For killing it twice.
That's what's
I'll
fun about it.
run over to Bolt and try and help him stand up. He's
I
really
will-
heavy, though.
He's
Run over
making
as well.
weird noises as you're trying to get it.
And I will.
Squeaky
cast
joints.
I'm like
Cure-
leaning
Cure
on my
Wounds.
shield.
Cure wounds. Okay. Yeah, you're dented
Victor,
in a few places.
Victor will return to the
So
cart,
roll.
6 plus.
and I'll.
9.
Did she when she was talking?
Thank you,
Did
I
she
have
say
one.
that she didn't want to spoil us out loud?
So what?
Did she say that she didn't want to spoil us out loud, or is that just GM talk?
Ooh.
I know her.
I don't know.
Oh.
Spoil what?
So earlier you said that
Oh.
she had the meals that were prepared.
Oh
meals,
yeah,
she don't-
like if you asked, like I thought we were getting culinary delights.
No,
Yeah,
no.
she definitely would have said like, "Well, I'm not going to spoil you for every meal. Like dinner is the big meal."
This one's a treat, and we eliminate quickly. But I don't want to spoil you next time.
Rude. He just kind of chuckles a little bit. Let's see.
Do
So
you have any other healing potions, or I could also provide
You've got your lay on hands.
So,
lay on hands?
We
Yeah.
picked up 2 healing potions from the tumor.
I used one on
Let's,
on Eve.
I think I used
I thought you
the other one.
used yours from
I
the
used mine
Arcana.
on Eve.
You
I
That was
think
the
you're okay
Arcana.
not using any potion.
Because remember, each one got
Just-
every one of us got one more.
I only
Okay.
had one in my
You
inventory,
can
but
take
if there was another one I missed,
15
then
more
yeah,
heals.
there's another one, I guess.
15 more.
Yeah, Eve basically like
So we all
Ezra helps you to your feet, and Eve is like right there. You can feel probably just like the soft purring of a cat as your wounds kind of like close and your dents kind of pop back out, sort of thing.
I'm just gonna blow dryer.
The any like rivets or my namesake, like
Any bolts?
just to screw back in and like things, you know.
Your
the,
jaw
the leg,
was a little
the
off
leg
kilter,
was a
and
little
you,
bit
like,
like
pop it into place. Yeah.
Yeah, you go into repair mode and the little thing comes out.
Yep.
I
Perfect.
think Bastion.
Einor just says, never met a troll before. Don't think I want to meet one again.
Well, in case you ever do, apparently they don't like fire.
they smell terrible.
I can smell them from here.
I've read about them in books, but they don't prepare you for that smell.
Is there anything in its encampment, like where it's been
If
hunkered down?
it's kind of just got this like the little copse of rocks back here has maybe a bunch of just like animal bones and such in it.
Okay.
There's
Nothing. It doesn't seem
there's
like
some
they've
larger
recently-
bones in there if you want to grab them.
I just want to look and see if there's any remnants or evidence of other people dying that we might be able to turn in for.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Eve, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Investigation. That's +0 apparently. That is an 8.
8. Yeah, there's not anything here other than just animal bones.
It
that
looks
seem to be
like there are no other unfortunate souls that came across him. We seem to be the first.
Poor unfortunate soul.
We're not gonna get too far.
No more.
This one wanting to be.
No! We're gonna get removed.
Okay,
Do I help?
cut that part out.
Yes, I do.
So after the troll fight, you do manage to drag it off the road. You burn the corpse just to make sure that it doesn't regenerate at all.
I throw a
Standard-
little extra juice into the fighting bowl just
Yeah.
to like.
Here, I will.
Angry fire.
This looks like fun. Here, I'll douse him in vodka.
Oh, this is very Murdo Hobu.
You know what? It's a troll that attacked you and
Oh.
demanded to eat your donkey. Like
Right.
it's not really Murdo Hobui at this point. So that was actually on the third day of travel. So everybody who's been keep track of your training days, keep track of all that, and everything. I would say so. I have to tell you what you guys had on these first few nights with Einor because she's making you meals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first night you guys had steamed wheat noodles with weasel, asparagus, cauliflower, chèvre, and mozzarella, with a side of sliced rutabaga and dates.
Like dates.
And then that was served with avocado pie, hard-boiled eggs, and seed cakes. Yeah. And like again, you guys, as much as Einor like watches you guys in battle and how elegant you are just as in awe of her as she like pulls out. And she doesn't even have a full kitchen. She's just got like cooking pots and everything. But she flows around a fire pit like nobody's business.
Well, she cooks like, if you want, I can help. I can make a vassal, a really good vassal.
That's all right. Thank you.
All right,
Her
Did you say
battlefield.
Fossil.
vassal,
Fossil.
vassal. W. O S vassal. Why do you think I'm saying wrong?
The second night, she actually makes you guys some prepped but raw rabbit with olives, pomegranates, and orange peel, with a salad of sliced bok choy, cooked chards, and blueberries, and then she serves that with rum and clove soup.
Very refined for traveling on the road.
This beats the roots and berries I've been eating for the last several months on the road.
Ainor, are you self-taught, or how did you
Sort
learn
of.
to cook?
It never ran in the family. My mom had a little bit of talent, but as far as it went, I just kind of took what she knew and nurtured it, and I opened up my business, and eventually I found out that I just had a really natural talent for this kind of thing. I've always really known what goes well together and what you should avoid. And as she says it, she slaps a little bit of salt out of Victor's hand that you were trying to put in extra salt. Like, trust me, you don't want any more salt in there.
All right.
No fossils in the soup.
Fossil! It's fossil! A very strong fossil is delicious.
Actually, funny you should say no fossils in the soup. The third night, she actually makes you guys a bone soup, basically. And it's a nice bone broth.
From the bones of the animals.
Bone broth, fossil soup.
And that's on a bed of steamed skillet,
You guys
sliced
don't know a
corolla,
good drink
and
when you-
huckleberries.
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry. Such a good movie.
Yep, I definitely was referencing the movie and not the Overwatch line.
I was saying Matt would be proud.
Yep. But yeah,
annoyed.
so that's your third night. Did you roll your
Yeah.
all three of your book checks?
I've rolled all 10 days, but I wrote down what the score was in case I
Okay.
don't get to do it. I can subtract it.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah.
How improved over the 3 days as you've gotten?
Go ahead and roll me an athletics check. Let's see how you are. With disadvantage on this one.
Oh, great. Okay, well. Oh, sad.
I'll give you my inspiration if you don't have it. Actually,
15, actually.
What a check for inspiration. 15?
Yeah.
She's actually doing quite well, surprisingly. Like for only being training for 3 days, she's doing pretty good.
I throw a
Victor,
stick
I'm
and
doing quite well.
you dodge it, and then it hits
Oh,
Seredan.
we're doing the montage.
Well done.
You
Do that
find-
again.
You find a bunch of rocks that look like a staircase, and you run up and down them to the top.
Da-da-da.
And then there's the balancing of the rocks, the little tiny one at the bottom. And you have to like balance one on each foot upside down.
Wow.
Was the Luke Skywalker training.
What does this have to do with fighting in the dark?
Balancing all things or something. I don't know. They had me do it too. I don't know what it was for.
So over the next 2 days, you guys continue your travels. You continue training. You have a nice albatross with strawberries, Malabar chestnuts, and caraway seeds on a bed of cooked sea grape, celery, and plums for the fourth night. And then on the fifth day, you're moving along, and you see another kind of large figure heading down the road towards you. This one, a little bit more pleasant than the troll. It's actually a keg golem. And it looks like it is limping along. And as it's heading down the long road, it just kind of it looks like one of its legs has been pretty damaged. Luckily, there's no leaks, so there's no like dripping beer or meat or anything
This
like
is
that.
a meat stud.
This is one of the meat
Okay.
stud
I
golems, yeah.
instantly turn Craggy into a mug and just run up to it and hold it out.
And it doesn't respond to you other than to like stop, and it looks like it's getting a little defensive. On the road, they're not handing out beer for free. They're definitely like trying to get their cargo where they need to go.
I get a pouty face. Then I say, "This one looks hurt. Do you speak?"
It does not reply.
Okay. Like,
Do you speak?
what happened to this? Can I do like an investigation check
Sure,
to see if
yeah.
I can
Go ahead, roll me an investigation.
figure
Can
out?
I aid him or her to give advantage?
That's a.
I'll be going around like smelling it, seeing if there's any new
I
smells.
think I'm actually a minus on. Well, no, I think I have proficiency. That's probably +1.
Thinking.
Yeah, 18.
18. With Victor's help, you kind of identified that this thing was just attacked by ruffians on the road, trying to get at the sweet, tasty innards, as it were. All of the meat inside of it, and there's not very many people that attack meat golems because they're pretty tough to begin with. Like they're designed to protect their cargo pretty well. And B, usually by the time that you would be able to get one down, a patrol would be by normally in order to.
So does it have like signs of resistance, like bloodied hands? Type
Yeah,
of thing,
it
where
definitely
just,
has
beat the
like
crap out of somebody?
one of its because usually they have like nozzle hands. This one has like spike ball maces on its hands, and one of them is very bloody. You can smell kind of powder shot in the air. It looks like somebody that attacked it had a sort of a powder shot pistol.
It looks like this was perhaps attacked by bandits, but I think the bandits might have gotten the worst end of the deal, judging by its bloody knuckles. Does anyone know how to fix a golem? I don't suppose your tinkering skills might be able to come in handy here.
Try my
Bolt?
hand on it.
So what you're going to need to do first is give me either a persuasion or an arcana check to approach the golem without making it think that you're trying to get the mead, basically.
While that's happening, I want to approach Eve and be like, I'm going to scout the area and make sure there's nobody lingering or following this golem.
Thank you
And I
for
wanna-
checking with me first.
Well, be
Good
careful.
idea. Go on.
Victor's like, I'm not sure why I even told her. I should have just gone.
Yeah, I'll
And
do
I
an
can
Something
take a
about
a quick long rest.
So go ahead and roll me a
This is
perception
another
check.
day.
Yeah, everybody can have taken a long rest, by the way. This, yeah,
That would be a 9.
a 9.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an inspiration or anything?
It's gonna punch you.
Yeah, I'll use it.
Okay.
I'll do it. Oh.
It's going to thunder punch you.
That's an 11.
11's enough.
As I approach, I see it starting to get defensive.
Yeah,
I will slowly put my shield on the ground.
Mhm.
You know,
You gotta
take
bow.
the mace off, and just be like,
Wait for it to
Yeah.
bow.
As soon as
Then-
you got your hands up, you're defenseless. It kind of regards you a little bit. It's got that kind of single ocular eye that spins a little bit, and then its fists lower.
yeah, and I'll pull out a Tinker's toolkit.
Okay.
Watch my lap.
So go ahead and give me a profession check with your Tinker's tools.
Sure.
Mine's a 14.
14. Yeah, you don't see anything else in the area. You see the remnants of the fight. You can see there's a couple,
Any signs of anyone surviving it?
no. It looks like these bandits got more than they bargained for when they tried to attack a golem. They got
So
a
would
little
that be
overzealous.
my int plus proficiency, or just proficient straight?
It would be int plus proficiency because you have a tool proficiency for it.
12.
So it takes an hour or two off of your trip for you to kind of repair the golem. It has to sit down, and you're basically applying bandages, kissing boo-boos, all of that good stuff. And at the end, you
I
find
find some durable logs and strap them up, kind
splint.
of like a
A
splint.
splint.
Yeah.
You know that each major town mead hall sets up a specific area where the golems are supposed to go, and that's usually where they get serviced and repaired.
Mhm.
It's like a Napa.
Not a sponsor.
Yep.
Whoa.
not a sponsor. And once you're done splinting it up, it stands up and it tests the leg a little bit and flexes it, and then it extends one of the maces out to you, and the mace kind of splits a little bit, and this piece of parchment spits out.
I take it.
Okay. And then it closes, and the golem just continues lumbering on its way. You guys have to kind of move out of the way. But the ticket does say that it is good for 1 free keg of Meadstead mead at any Meadstead location.
All right.
Nice. We are going
Get a
full
kegger.
Paragon.
Sorry. Can't speak and write at the same time. So, the House of Greenwood, where
Yeah.
are they from?
They're from Terrebaun. They're one of
They
the
are
noble
from
houses.
Terrebaun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Basically, their job is the patrol route. They patrol Terrebaun for threats, and they patrol basically Terrebaun's territories, which is the long road stretching, and all of its villages stretching down until about Will Creek Hollow. No, actually, until about Six Hills. From Six Hills to Salsport, Six Hills and Salsport kind of combine efforts there.
These greeny people, they don't seem to be doing a particularly good job at their job.
Job.
Perhaps they have bounties out for these wicked cash,
Maybe. Or at the very least, they ought to pay us for doing their job, whatever they're
Perhaps.
paying their people.
For once we agree.
Perhaps the House of Greenwood has fallen.
Should we check on it?
Well, when we get to Terrebaun, we should definitely investigate.
Isn't Terrebaun kind of always having little battles? Ground
There's always
battles and-
something going on with Terrebaun as far as war and conflict goes.
They're a little uppity.
They seem to be always on the warpath, as it were. I wouldn't be surprised if they finally got what they were in for.
It's too bad.
We haven't run into any more of those.
Forgot how to drink for a second.
Sorry.
My ice cubes have fused. I was trying to just get one, and they all kind of came in a big lump.
I just saw this dribble coming out of your mouth.
Craggy like had a little hole on the side.
Yeah.
Came out weird.
Getting even with me for turning them into a mug.
The name of your
Stein.
friends. The troublemakers. We haven't seen them as of yet, right?
Oh, I mean the Dwarven clan,
Clan Fellowship.
whose name escapes me.
Clan Fellowship, I believe.
Surprise!
Right?
Yes,
The Shallow Shields, something. Yes.
They wouldn't have anything to do with this, right? They have different goals.
They're not particularly honorable, but they're also. Well,
Victor spits on the ground at the mention of just not being honorable.
No.
Not being
Honorable.
like completely honorable.
Not
yeah.
being honorable.
but they're not exactly prone to banditry, at least not so far as I have heard.
All right.
All right. Continuing on, that night you guys have some steamed flat rice noodles with sea lettuce, served with fried eggs, gin. Actually, not gin. Meatstead mead. Ainor pulls it out as sort of a she has like a specific
Honor of.
keg, yeah.
Nice.
And then you have aged Monterey Jack and chickweed pie.
Mm.
And this is the night of the full moon, basically. This would be so at midnight. You two like sneak off, or do you tell everybody where you're going? I mean, Ainor knows.
It's a secret.
I think it's just a besties thing.
It's a girl thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls' night out.
So
That's right.
everybody hits the hay around close to the witching hour, except for Bolt, who is always on sentry duty. So I think Bolt would be the only one that would see you guys stand up.
Do we have to make a stealth check?
If you'd like to.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think it's passive.
I'm as about as
Probably
stealthy as I am good at holding my liquor.
18.
That's a
If you beat a 10.
That's a 6.
Yeah, you definitely noticed Sari like stumble out of her.
I'm just giggling is what it is. I'm just like,
Not that it affects any, that he would be looking for any of that, but Victor would, every night before he goes to bed, he'd go out and, like, if there's trees or shrubs, he'd go plant things
Oh, yeah.
around
Mhm.
so that he can listen.
Oh,
I've
great.
also got the alarm
But
spell.
I
and
wouldn't-
Every
I
night
could-
I'll go
you
and kind
will-
of do
you
the
will
wire around our camping area.
But I
so
think
we're
you
just
Vic-
double
You put
You
yours
do it
down,
first,
I
and
go
then I
behind
go
you, I was like, shink.
I'm just letting him do it. He's like putting cans, and I'm like, there's an invisible magic wire.
There's a good do you get to pick people for the alarm spell on what triggers and what doesn't?
I can't remember. Let me read. I think it's just if anything crosses it.
Oh, dear.
Read.
Every time.
You set an alarm against unwanted intrusion.
Unwanted.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll designate everybody as
Yep.
safe. Yeah, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm.
okay.
Mental or audible, and I will definitely do audible so everyone knows.
Sounds good.
So, as we get into the woods, Eve will cast Speak with Animals to speak to an animal to see if they know where the linberries are.
What type of animal do you find?
Oh, you're just a Disney princess.
No,
do you want
honestly,
to describe what animal you find? or-
So it's nighttime, so it
Cockroaches.
would need to be
Cockroaches.
gross.
and
No.
rats. It's like
Oh yeah,
Enchanted.
berries. I know exactly what that is.
He's smoking a cigar.
Yeah,
Ah,
Jazzy.
yikes. No offense to the people from New Jersey. We're not
I think you were talking
comparing
about
you.
cockroaches being yikes, but yeah.
Not comparing you to cockroaches.
my brain goes to the Shrek version of
Fiona. Yeah.
no, Snow White when she's out and she's singing and she's like, "Do it." I don't want to do it because we're gonna copyright strike. But
Yeah. I was
Immigrant
channeling Enchanted.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Where she like
So good.
how do you know?
So a nocturnal animal. Let's do
You could wake one up.
like.
That would be rude.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Pick up a rat.
kind sir.
Wake up.
It's an owl.
Okay.
Obviously, an owl.
Yeah. So you find a perched like great horned owl, and you cast speak with animals. Almost said speak with dead.
Oh, is he going to give us a shield?
Skeleton
This-
owl.
yes.
It's dangerous.
And it goes, "Well, good evening, miss. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing well. I was wondering, have you seen lunaberries nearby here?
Lunaberry hunting. Oh, I remember when I was that young.
How old are you?
I'm sorry, what?
Lunaberries.
Lunaberries, right.
Yes.
Yes, there are a few, and he kind of like turns his head way too far around, and then turns around the other way, and he goes, if you just head over to that rock over there, and you're going to take a left, and then you're going to take a... No, take a right, and then a left. Just,
I'm assuming I don't understand. It's just
yeah,
nothing
it is a left and then a right. There will be a small clearing with a bunch of bushes, and you should get there just in time to see them start glowing.
Left, right, small bushes start glowing.
Yep,
After the rock.
pretty easy to see.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
your kindness and goodness.
If you wouldn't mind. And he dives down and grabs a cockroach and heads off.
Nice catch.
When she talks, does she do like the pantomiming with her hands, trying to accentuate what you're trying to say to him? So Sarah says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is she speaking common or is she speaking owl?
What does it say?
I think you speak common specifically.
Comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to speak owl, you can.
She's
for
speaking
for this
owl.
time. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Like,
Which includes
Look here!
Evie, I had no idea you spoke owl.
Neither did I.
It must be the influence of the town.
It must be. This kind owl said that after the rocks, I can't remember.
Left, right, bushes.
Left, right, bushes, glowy.
Ezra's always knowing, even when he's not there.
Even when I'm asleep. Sleeping. Left, right.
Left, right, just on the right.
Shall we?
Let's go.
So you get to the clearing just as the full moon comes out from behind the clouds, and all the bushes begin to, like, these little tiny spots begin to glow with that silvery light that takes you both back to when you were young. There is a bounty of lunaberries.
Silpier.
Silpier.
That's how you say it.
Silpier.
We said it
recorded
wrong in
it,
recap.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. You don't speak Elven,
It's a
so I wouldn't
quesadilla.
expect.
Well, technically, I do.
Oh well. Okay. Then.
You are a half
It's just a. You just
Doesn't
have
come
a
up
bad,
very
You have a
often.
bad accent. Then.
Very bad accent. I'm
Never
from the
would
country,
have
don't you know?
accent.
All right. Shall we?
Yeah.
Pick, pick,
eat way more than you pick. That's
Yes.
usually the case.
Yes.
And about 2 hours later, you come back and you're I don't know if it's a bushel or a bag or
Yes.
whatever.
I definitely turned Craggy into like a big basket.
The Choir of the Crags is a little bit subdued at the mundane nature of the items that you've been using, but they're used to that, so they're singing along in kind of a gentle harmony to the reverence of these basically these glowing berries that happen.
They attune to reverence.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
Dang it. Yeah, and you guys are able to get back after a couple hours with a big bushel full of berries, big stomachs also full of berries.
Yes.
And you definitely see them come back. There's no way you guys are hiding after that much giddy excitement. There's no way that you guys are hiding.
Do the berries make them glow?
Well, just our faces.
around our
like
mouths.
juice.
Like,
What have you been eating?
You open your mouth.
Is it
Nothing
silver?
My
Like,
kids
all down the
bit
front of
into
you.
a
It's just
glow stick
rips
once.
of-
Yeah.
In the
It's
middle
like-
of the night, we were driving home. I look in the rearview mirror, and Lucy's going, nah, nah. Then she bit into a glow stick. Her whole mouth was just like bright yellow. So that's what I imagine.
Yep, that's what it looked like.
You didn't drink
There
the blood
are,
of the unicorn,
like-
did you?
There are fancy balls that happen in an area where it's on the full moon and people wear like lunaberry masks and designs and everything like that.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Yes,
But,
I think we
this is
have
definitely
smushed
not
some
that.
and done some body paint.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of that going on.
We just heard the words food fight,
And there's a big glowing hand like right on Eve's butt.
Whew, sorry. My goodness.
Perfect. So the next morning, for those of you who did not wake up, I guess both of you can go ahead and roll me a check to see if you wake up when they get back. Because again, they are not being quiet anymore. They're too happy and excited to worry about stealth.
What am I rolling? I rolled a 16
16?
plus whatever.
I mean, that's good enough to wake up if you want to.
I'll just get up and hear that it's just them. I'm like,
I'll just throw a Luna berry at him.
Yeah.
eat it.
And
then I'll go to bed.
My knives don't give me like peripheral vision always. It's just when I throw them. So
Yeah. Well,
it's
yeah.
mostly just putting them out, and then if something comes into the camp and we're attacked, then I'll pull them. So.
Yeah, and then the next morning you all wake up and there's a bushel of they're rather normal looking berries in the daylight. You guys have cleaned yourselves up, probably, hopefully at this point. But nothing's really glowing anymore because it's only during the full moon.
Eve, you got a little something.
Shh, don't tell her.
What? What are you talking about?
Never mind. And I just walk away awkwardly.
Have any of you ever had Luna berries before? We went and collected some last night.
I think they heard.
I had one.
I had no idea.
Seredan tossed me one.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
I can't say I've ever had lunaberries.
Had them on occasion, but not.
Well, perhaps tonight we can try to do the bread pudding.
Yes.
And we could do that off camera if we wanted.
Yeah.
I'll make a vassal for it if you want.
Fossil does
Fossils are not
go
part
with
of the bread pudding.
We already had the bones.
I goes, all right, you guys can cook tonight. I'm not cooking any of
Well, we
that.
just maybe might need your sort
I'll
of
guide,
guidance.
I'll
Can you
guide,
us?
but
Perfect.
I'm not eating any of it. And she pulls out some like specially prepared trail rations that she had just for this occasion to munch on.
My nature's best bar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a sponsor.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and continue along our way. That night, you guys do have wonderful fossil and bread pudding made with Luna berries. It's go ahead and give me some performance checks. How about that for the fossil too?
Cooking is a lot like
Yeah,
alcohol.
if you have like a cooking
Oh, no,
utensil,
no,
use
no,
that
no.
instead.
16.
16.
Oh, not good.
It's okay. I'm the one that knows the recipe.
Yes, it was Sari's mother's recipe. I just watched because
So it's
I rolled
16.
a
pretty
7.
good. Yeah, you're not that great of a cook normally.
Maybe with
but,
a little help
and-
from
Yeah, Einor definitely
Einor.
gives you some inspiration here or there. Kind of like, no, don't stir it that way. No,
Fold. No, fold.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
And for clarity, for
Fold the
Preston's clarity,
cheese.
it's Wassel spelled Wassasail.
Okay.
It's usually Yuletide ring.
Yeah.
It's like spiced, but his is like
F-O-S-S-I-L.
his is like 50% of the stuff you're supposed to, and the other 50% is vodka.
Vodka.
And that's
beer bread.
it's strong.
Yeah. Hot mulled cider.
Just don't light a fire near that.
Whoops. Okay. And I think that's a good place to kind of wind down tonight. You guys are about 6 days into your journey along the long road, heading towards Willow Creek Hollow again for some, and for the first time for others. And I think next time we'll pick it up just where we left off. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Enjoy your lovely bread pudding, digitally delivered
We need
From-
to come up with a recipe now.
from our mouths
We
to your
should.
ears.
Put some recipes in the description.
I don't know where you're going to get Luna berries.
Tales of Aneria cookbook coming soon.
Look
Has
for it.
all the things that you...
Yeah, exactly.
There was some
White
things in here that I had
best.
to change because I doubt you guys would like raw rat. So I just,
Raw rabbit instead.
or lemur.
Exotic.
But
Okay.
we'll go ahead and continue next time. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks. You guys.